Hello everyone, thank you for our latest USA update. So, of course, Hurricane Laura has brought severe, catastrophic and devastating weather to the Gulf Coast of the United States over the past few hours. Laura is moving inland across Louisiana now and rapidly weakening, but still bringing copious amounts of rain. And it's been really bad down across the Louisiana and Texas border through the past few hours. But things will hopefully be calming down over the next few hours as Laura loses its intensity very rapidly. We're going to bring you up to date with everything that's going on in the tropical Atlantic first of all, and then we'll have a more widespread look at weather for America over the next 10 to 14 days. Day 10 is going to take us to around the 6th of September. Have a look at CFSV2 at the end of the video for the next 4 weeks. That'll take us pretty much to the latter part of September. So if you're enjoying the USA updates, then please give us a like on the video. Let us know in the comments what you think, and make sure you're subscribed to the channel because these are YouTube exclusives. So you have to be subbed to the channel to know when we're releasing these videos on a Monday and also on a Thursday as well. Right then, so this is how things are currently looking with the National Hurricane Center. So, of course, as I say, Laura has brought catastrophic weather to the southern coast of the United States. I saw a message, from the National Hurricane Center. Their key leading bulletin point was that there was going to be an unsurvivable storm surge. Unsurvivable storm surge. You don't see it, even for this part of the world, which does get these high impact storms, you don't see the word unsurvivable all that often. So hopefully everybody who was on that coast and was facing this storm surge was able to evacuate and get out of the way of this, but before it came in. But yeah, I was very struck by that word, unsurvivable storm surge heading for the Gulf Coast of the United States last night. Anyway, the current position of Laura is just here across Louisiana. Let's have a look at what's going on inland now, of course, and rapidly weakening. So 24 hours ago, this was giving maximum sustained winds of around 140 to 150 miles per hour just as it was coming onshore. 24 hours later, it's giving maximum sustained winds of 75 miles per hour. Very shortly, this will be losing hurricane status and going back to a tropical storm, I would have thought. Central pressure of 982 millibars and moving northwards very rapidly at 16 miles per hour. Clicking on Laura and going to warnings and images, that shows us that the current position of Category 1 now, Hurricane Laura, is just there. Anytime it's going to become going to weaken, going to become a tropical storm, then a tropical depression, weakening further, and sort of as a tropical depression moving eastwards across the United States. So around Kentucky, for example, West Virginia becoming a post-tropical depression, and then out into the eastern seaboard, somewhere around Virginia on Saturday morning as a post-tropical depression, and then post-tropical storm as it moves into the North Atlantic by the time we get through into Tuesday. And that will be the end of this catastrophic Hurricane Laura. However, if we go back, let's just have a look at key points, actually. So, key point number 1 is dangerous storm surge will result in elevated water levels for the next few hours along the Gulf Coast from Sabine Pass, Texas to Port Fourchon, I think it is, Louisiana. Damaging winds will continue near the center of Laura over portions of northern Louisiana and Arkansas today and into this evening. And also point number 3, widespread flooding along small streams, urban areas and roadways will continue across portions of Louisiana, Mississippi and Arkansas. It's still pretty bad, but of course we're not talking about like unsurvivable. We're not using that word unsurvivable now. But let's go back because there is another disturbance area beginning to form off the coast of Africa. There we go. We've got another disturbance area. Disturbance areas basically mean clusters of thunderstorms. Laura, this devastating, unsurvivable hurricane, one of the strongest hurricanes ever to hit the Gulf Coast of America, just started off as a cluster of thunderstorms. So in the tropical Atlantic, it is absolutely unbelievable and amazing how these things sort of generate degenerate from just thunderstorms into like unsurvivable hurricanes. But anyway, so we've got this yellow X just here, this disturbance area off the coast of Africa. It's disturbance 1 with a 20% chance of cyclone formation in the next 48 hours. I won't read anything that they're saying about this, but they are saying that conditions could become more favourable over the weekend and into early next week for this wave, these clusters of thunderstorms to become a tropical cyclone. So here we go again. Maybe this is going to be our next one. We shall have to wait and see. We'll know more next weekend. This is wind flow map from earth.nullschool.net, so you can see how the winds are blowing across the tropical Atlantic. But let's go over to the US and zoom in. So here we go. You can see there's still quite a nice, well-defined eye with this, with Laura. So there we go. You can see like it has weakened a lot, obviously, compared to this time yesterday when we were doing yesterday evening's live stream. It has weakened a lot, but there still is a well-defined eye with this. It's still a Category 1 hurricane, let's not forget that. So although it's weakened a lot, it's still giving maximum sustained of 75 miles per hour, which means gusts probably up to 100 miles an hour still. And yeah, so still a nasty hurricane. Although it's weakened a lot, still a nasty hurricane there, sitting in the southern part of the United States. It will weaken rapidly from here, but at the moment, anybody that's in that area, do stay safe, and yeah, the worst should be over very, very shortly though. These are the 500 millibar height on road charts, Penn State University for the next week to 10 days. We've got the ECMWF here on the left screen. GFS is over on the right. So both of these models are going for a ridge of above average heights, be off the west coast of the United States. That keeps the hot weather going, of course, through western part of America. They're both going for a trough of below average heights over from Canada into northern part of states in towards the Midwest. So the jet stream and flow doing something a little bit like that across America, just bringing some cooler and rather slightly more unsettled conditions into the far northern part of the states. However, most parts of the states are still on the hot side of the jet stream, so most parts of the states are going to be staying generally quite warm to hot, I would have thought, into the early part of September. But for the far northern part of the states, could turn a little bit cooler, a little bit more unsettled. These were GFS upper air temperature and precipitation ensembles for the next couple of weeks. Looking at Boston today in the far northeastern part of the state. So red line's 30-year upper air temperature average for Boston. Starting off a little bit cool at the moment. Going to see the temperature lifting up a little bit. And then a drop down as we go through the weekend into the early part of next week. Then another lift up through like the middle of next week. And then another drop down. So very up and down actually for Boston. Very up and down with the upper air temperatures and probably the surface temperatures too. Plenty of precipitation coming up. I would have thought this spike just here, which is occurring through the weekend, is probably going to be like the remains of Laura. This precipitation spike just there, that must be the remains of Laura getting into the far northeastern part of the states, I would have thought. Regular sort of showers, thunderstorms in between that though. So the first week of September is actually looking rather unsettled, and temperatures a little bit up and down. Temperature anomalies, generally warm and average in most parts of states for weekend. It is a little bit cooler in the Midwest. The western part of the state still very, very hot through there. Let's not overlook this very hot weather that's been going on in western states over the past few weeks. That continues for the next, for the next week. Precipitation anomalies from the 27th of August, 4th of September, looking like that. So obviously you can see where Laura is, and the track of Laura, can't you? So yes, down here and just here, that those massive precipitation anomalies being caused by Laura, sort of 400 to 600% of average rainfall through those areas, and then curving in that direction. So yeah, going to be wet at times across that east part of America. Out in west and northwest, it's very dry. That's got a ridge of high pressure. In between, many of the states looking quite dry, a bit on the western Atlantic side in the northeast. This is how the GFS is looking. Whoops. so let's get rid of that. This is how the GFS is looking for right now. So there's Laura down across that southern part of America, of course. That's Laura just there. Otherwise, most parts of the states on the quiet side, really, I think, today. So you can see it's a hot scene across many parts of America at the moment. Hot upper air temperatures have lifted up into the far northern part of the states. Look at the rainfall that's associated with Hurricane Laura as well. Look at that rainfall. Absolutely phenomenal amounts of rain being produced by Hurricane Laura. Now, as you go through to Friday, and in Saturday, it becomes a post-tropical storm, post-tropical depression, and pushes north. It will still take quite a bit of heavy rain north and east with it into the northern east part of America. And then by the time you get through to Sunday, this post-tropical storm or depression is off the eastern seaboard, the far northeastern seaboard of America, and Canada just there as a 995 millibar area of low pressure. Pulls down cooler air into the northeast of America, the north part of America behind it. And then as we go through into next week, we're going to find a ridge re-establishing, or trying to re-establish through the early part of next week. That will bring warmer temperatures back to many parts of the state. So the upper air temperatures as we go through to Wednesday. So most parts of the states are looking quite hot, very hot out in west, of course, and even these east and northeast areas begin to see those upper air temperatures lifting up a little bit. Heading up towards day 10, well, then we start to bring an area of low pressure in from the north, or we try to. Now, it's going to be a big temperature contrast associated with it. So this is an area of low pressure just here, but will bring heavy rain and thunder to the north. Now, on the southern side of this low, it's got a lot of hot air surging up from the west and the southwest. On the northern side, you've got quite a lot of cool air, though, trying to get in from Canada. So that's one to watch. The northern parts of America around day 10. That could bring some really intense thunderstorms and a big temperature contrast. Eventually, this all sorts itself out as we move further on to extended range with GFS, and we start to introduce cooler air from Canada into northern parts of America. Look at the drop with the upper air temperatures for northern and eastern parts of the states, where the east coast itself is still quite hot up to the 12th of September as far as we go with this GFS run. Generally, cooler air is pushing southwards across northern parts of states. Still very hot, of course, on the western side of America, but quite a cool down there going through the second week of September with that GFS run. ECM looks like that. So again, this is how things are looking with Hurricane Laura just there. So yes, it's a very, very intense storm that's pushed into some part of America. Over the weekend, that post-tropical storm and depression will move into the east and the northeastern part of America. It will bring heavy rain with it and a push of cooler air from Canada. Meanwhile, out in the west, it's still going to be hot under that ridge of high pressure overall. Moving into next week, so things try to settle down a little bit under a ridge of high pressure. Look at the upper air temperatures there for Wednesday, for example. So eastern part of the state's going quite hot again through the middle part of next week. Very hot out in the west. In the Midwest, it is a little bit cooler through there. And then we move on into second half of next week, and we start to generate this area of low pressure in from the north. So that brings heavy rain into those northern states with a ridge building behind it. Upper air temperatures show that we bring some cooler air into northern parts of America from Canada, a push of sort of autumnal winds, as I would call them, or full winds, as you would call them in America. But yes, it turns cooler into the northern part of the states by the time you get through to day 10, which is 36th September. Hot up the east coast, and still very, very hot. Summer goes on out in the west. This is how CFSV2 is looking for the next 4 weeks. So 500 millibar heights bring down to week periods. The first week period takes us from the 27th of August, 2nd of September. So like we've got low pressure in the northern parts of the states. That probably is associated with Hurricane Laura just there. A ridge out in the west. So in the far north it is trying to go cooler, but actually most parts of the states still on the hot side of the jet stream. Still quite hot through many parts of America. Week 2 is the 3rd to the 9th of September. So some lower pressure there around the Great Lakes. High pressure off the east coast of America and off west coast too. So again, cooler air is just trying to move southwards from Canada, but it is struggling to be able to do so. Week 3 looks like that. It's the 10th to 16th of September. Higher pressure then up towards the Canadian border, so begin to go a little bit drier then. That could start to allow some low pressure to develop through here though, so maybe start to move jet stream southwards just a little bit there from the 10th to 16th of September. And then go through to week 4, which is the 17th to 23rd of September. A ridge still out in the west, still very warm there, and also off the east coast. In between, we might get a bit of a dip in the jet stream and be rather on the cooler and more unsettled side. Temperature anomalies look like this for week 1, 27th of August, 2nd of September. Cooling the very far north, most parts of the states looking quite hot actually in the week ahead. Week 2 looks like that. Big cool down coming from Canada into the far northern part of America. Again, most parts of the states, though, do look quite warm. Week 3, big change. The northwest goes significantly warmer than average, so in the north and in the northwest, hotter than average there. But many of those eastern and central states, midwestern states, are looking significantly cooler than average then. And then week 4 is the 17th, 23rd of September. Hot in the east, cooler. It's hot in the west, I should say. Cooler in the east. It's been a very long day today. Precipitation anomalies, finally. So week 1 rainfall, 27th of August, 2nd of September. Significantly wetter than average through the midwest and up to the east, or the northeast. In the southeast corner, it is going a little bit drier through there. Week 2 precipitation from the 3rd to the 9th of September. Wetter than average in the north, most other parts of the state, so hinting at going a little bit drier there through that week perhaps. And then we go through into week 3, which is 10th to the 16th of September. Drier than average through both midwestern and northern states, perhaps a little bit on the wetter side through some of those southern states. Remember, this is peak hurricane season. 3 weeks away in peak hurricane season. I wouldn't take this at all seriously, I have to say. This is peak hurricane season, second half of September, so take this with a grainful, bucketfuls of salt. But week 4 rainfall looks like that, so looking relatively dry down here around the Gulf Coast and that sort of area, though Florida looks a little bit wetter and quite dry up in the north. But I wouldn't take that at all seriously. That is peak hurricane season, and those storms in that week, 17th, 21st September, have not even been generated and are probably a couple of weeks away from being generated. So I don't think that is at all serious. Should take it at all seriously. But certainly, for the moment, all eyes are on Hurricane Laura, of course. And this system we're going to push northwards into northeast part states, bringing heavy rain with it as a post-tropical depression, then out into the Atlantic. That'll be the end of Laura. And then next week, it looks as though things are going to be a little bit quieter, although we have got that disturbance area going off the coast of Africa, so we have to keep an eye on that. But at the moment, it looks like things will be a little bit quieter for southern parts of America next week and allow things around the Gulf Coast to dry up a little bit. But as I say, this is peak hurricane season. We are expecting peak hurricane season. We are having a very, very active season for tropical storms. This is our first really severe hurricane, but it could be the first of quite a few. So we shall see what happens next week. Right then, if you enjoyed this video, please give us a like. Let us know in the comments what you think. Make sure you sub to the channel, and we'll be back with another USA update on... we'll be back with another update on Monday, because it's Bank Holiday Monday, so I'll be having a day off, actually. It's Bank Holiday here in the UK on Monday, so I won't be doing any uploading on Monday. So the next USA forecast is actually going to be in a week's time on Thursday. It'll be very interesting then to see where we are, won't it, in a week's time. So next USA forecast will be on Thursday, a week today. That's all for now, and thanks for watching.